Hey there, my name's Josie and you're listening to the Yoga Local podcast, which I'm filming here at the Yoga Local studio in Wellingborough in the UK. Thank you for joining. Today the teaching is Kalpana. Now there are so many teachings within the yoga tradition. Take your time as we go through these. That's kind of part of the practice and the enjoyment of practice, but a bit like sitting at a 10 course taster menu, right? And you got some time to get through this, right? Your whole life. So anyway, Kalpana is loosely translated as the force of our imagination, our creative force. We're all creative human beings. We're born of nature, in nature. We're part of this creative conversation. And these concepts help us to remember and unlock our capacity to be creative, to be imaginative, to direct our power in ways that are going to serve us and not going to keep us stuck and limited. So how do we use this concept of creative force, Kalpana? So it's about intentional visionary, intentional use of our imagination. Yoga teaches us that thoughts have power, and when we can get our minds stable, when we can start to take our minds away from the random fanciful imaginings of the mind, then we can start to redirect our energy into something a little bit more skillful. Kalpanas are kind of like the next level of skillful thinking, intentional visionary work, intentional work into imagination, using our imagination to create powerful outcomes and to drive a positive change. If you think about how much time you might spend in thinking that is unhelpful, that kind of reinforces low self-esteem, inability to move forward, keeps us in this kind of hamster wheel of mediocrity. And yoga is about us uncovering our true nature, our true creative potential, stepping into that. And this teaching of Kalpana reminds us that we have the potential to really work with our imagination to get the outcomes that we're looking for. So for example, maybe we're feeling unmotivated. Maybe we've not got that get up and go power when we wake up in the morning. Like, do we kind of continue in that energy of being disempowered and not feeling like we're kind of up for the job? Or can we start to work with our imagination, work with our auspicious mind, redirect it, start to visualize ourselves achieving the outcomes that we desire, moving towards our goals, imagine how it would feel, like bring about real embodied states of what would it feel like to achieve and accomplish that goal that may seem so out of reach right now. But if we can kind of use the power of our creative imagination to think, feel, and sense into that, then we're more likely to move forward the rest of our day with that energy. And there's ways of cultivating this in practice, okay, as well as things that you can maybe do as standalone practices. So picture yourself achieving your goals. Another way of using this, like practical examples, and just as an aside, you might, notice that some of these teachings have kind of been like hijacked by the professional, personal development world in coaching quarters. Like, these teachings might sound a little bit weird, a little bit out there, but rest assured, like they are being used and they are very relevant to today. It's just the way that people are packaging them. And like, yoga has been around 5,000 years. It's time tested, and some of the principles that come out of the teachings of yoga, they're really powerful. And if we can consistently work these in, weave these into our practice, not just our posture practice, but in our like complete yoga practice, this is how we're going to unlock our true potential. We're not going to unlock our potential just by, you know, creating an amazing position or an amazing posture. These are the teachings, these are the tools that are going to help you go deeper. So, bit of a tangent there, I digress. So the next kind of example, practical example I want to give you is, often we can feel a lack of confidence, right? We don't believe in ourselves, right? It's not just maybe like we're not hitting those goals and we're feeling unmotivated. We have a sense of low self-esteem to the point where we may feel things are not possible for us. Now that's really debilitating and is not going to move us in the direction of our true potential and our innate possibility, right, for ourselves. So Kalpana, again, this is the teaching that we need to draw from. Remember, we are a creative force to be reckoned with. When we can actively move our thoughts away from negativity, from doubt, from fear and worry, and move them into something more auspicious, then we get to thrive. Then we get to move forward and we can kind of ride that energy throughout our day. So yeah, use this to reshape the perception of who you are. Like, you know, actors do this, athletes do this, right? Before they prepare for a role, before they prepare for a race, they are visualizing themselves achieving that in that space from moment to moment almost, right? These skills are used today. They may be ancient, they might be 5,000 years old, but they're that powerful that people are using them. So let's use them, let's practice them as we work in our asana practice. Let's imagine, let's picture ourselves as that end goal. Like, as we're practicing, can we start to visualize ourselves in that position of being free, being capable, being able to take on that tricky conversation with someone, okay? Or maybe going for that job that you have felt that you're not good enough for, right? Start to use your own power of creative imagination. Visualize, intentionally dream, intentionally imagine, and see how that process done consistently will start to move you in a completely different energetic direction. See yourself tackling those situations. See yourself remembering who you are, and over time this will have a cumulative effect of rewiring the mind, okay? So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you today about is like using fire ceremonies and rituals, and many traditions have this in their culture, like the use of a fire ritual. And they all kind of have the same key elements. Like there's this, in a ritual, like when you do something over and over again, it has that reverence, it has that devotion to it, okay? They also has the visualization aspect. So if we're like mastering our intentional imagery and visualization as a general day-to-day, it's going to really make these kind of practices more potent. And also breath work, using the breath. And the idea is that we use these rituals, we use this imagery, we use this intention to awaken that creative force within. They're practices to put us into a specific energetic state, a more positive energetic state, and then we get on that loop, on that wheel of positivity, and then we're off to the races, okay? So I've written a blog that will help you kind of understand these practices. It's moving into these practices is like moving into the more advanced techniques, but there is something that we can all do to get started. So please read the blog. I've offered an 8-step self-discovery and self-empowerment practice in there. And yeah, just start wherever you're at. Start to allow yourself to open your mind, open yourselves up to these concepts, open to these ideas. And remember, consistency is key. You know, this is not one-hit wonders. You're not just going to do it, you know, one time and suddenly your world's transformed, right? A lot of the thinking that we're doing on a day-to-day is, you know, sending us backwards along the evolutionary trail, right? So we've got to kind of redress that and be as consistent in our pursuit of empowering thoughts, right? So consistency is key. Keep coming back to it on a daily basis. If you're practicing, you know, as a typical asana practice with your breath work and your meditation, you can introduce this into that as part of your day, but it can be just maybe part of your morning routine when you wake up and look in the mirror in the morning, okay? So trust in the process, trust in that consistency. The more that you do this, the more skilled that you will get at it, and the more that you will start to see those transformations take place. And just have faith in your ability, right? Like, it's amazing that you're even on this planet. Like, the odds of us being here, guys, is just incredible. And all the necessary interactions that are going on around you, this creative force around us that is fueling our everyday, that is in ways that we cannot imagine, integrating everything, weaving everything into this beautiful web of life. And trust in your ability, right? Because you are part of that creative force. And when we start to like really feel that on a very deep and meaningful level, there is nothing that you cannot do. Okay, so have a read of the blog, let me know what you think, start imagining, start using that brilliant mind of yours to make massive change in your life, and let me know how you get on. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Bye for now.